Hello everyone. This is kind of an unexpected video to make, honestly. I wasn't really expecting to make a health update video in quite some time, or at all, really. But yeah, I have some news. I was a bit late in getting my blood work done. Uh, so late that my doctors actually like messaged me via the NHS app and they were like, "You're overdue, please book." My thyroid has gotten worse. So, yeah. And I also have vitamin D deficiency and folic acid deficiency, which sucks. So it kind of explained how I was feeling because I felt really down and exhausted and fatigued, like worse than usual for quite a few weeks. And then I got my blood test and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because I thought it was kind of like just one of those periods where I was just being rough, but no, it's because my health went downhill a bit. So when I got that back, they gave me 3 months worth of folic acid and then 2 months worth of vitamin D. So folic acid I have to take once a day for 3 months, and then the vitamin D they actually gave me like enough pills for twice a week for 7 or 8 weeks. And that was kind of a bit different because usually, well, last time they just told me to buy over the counter stuff, didn't even give me a dose recommendation or anything, didn't even tell me how long I needed to take it for. I was like, ah. So I kind of just had to guess it. But this time, nope, they've given me vitamin D supplements and it's twice a week. So, and then I had to book an actual telephone consultation to talk about my thyroid levels. And basically, they don't want to adjust or change my thyroid medication dose at the minute because I'm going through deficiencies. They want if my levels have gotten worse because of the deficiencies. So they're wanting to fix them first or like give my body time to adjust to the supplements. Um so at first they told me to wait 3 months to get my thyroid checked again, but because of the deficiencies, the other doctor said wait 2 months for a blood test. So I asked the doctor, I was like, okay, so should I wait the 3 months or should I just go at the same time as my deficiency checkup? And they were like, oh, okay, yeah, do 2 months, just so that way it's both done at once, one appointment. I was like, cool. So I have to wait 2 months until I can test for the deficiencies and my thyroid again, which I'm a little bit worried about. But she did say if I'm getting worse to book a blood test earlier, because obviously then that means my thyroid is still struggling. And I've been a bit eh, so I'm going to evaluate after a month. So I got my blood tested the end of May, so I will evaluate how I'm feeling at the end of June. Um, because I do have like a lot of stuff going on in my life, which is causing quite a bit of anxiety and exhaustion. So like I have to kind of really heavily watch myself and see. So I kind of gauge it on like how much I sleep because like no amount of sleep actually gets rid of the exhaustion type thing. So I kind of have to see how exhausted I am after my sleep because I know when I'm getting bad, I sleep more and I still feel like crap, basically. So, and all the other little symptoms coming out, like anxiety is obviously a thing, but I'm going through stuff in my personal life, so it's like, okay, is it that or is it my thyroid? Is it the deficiencies? Because like all of the deficiencies have the same symptoms as my thyroid, and it's like, oh my gosh, because I get really bad fatigue, exhaustion, anxiety, irritability can kind of spike, just general body aches and pains. The intolerance to the cold sucks. All of those symptoms. So they kind of just fluctuate all the time, but it has been quite bad the past few weeks. So I'm currently midway through June, so I still got another 2 weeks to kind of see how I'm feeling. And then evaluate if I need to go for the blood test earlier or if I can wait the 2 months. But I am a little bit worried about my thyroid. I mean, I know it was gonna kind of slowly get worse over my lifetime anyway, and it has been 6 years since my diagnosis. So I've gone 6 years on the same dose. So I wasn't really expecting to see my thyroid getting worse, but I guess obviously it was to be expected. I just didn't really know when. But obviously I still have to wait for my blood test. So it's only been 2 weeks on supplements, so I can't really judge at the minute. I've been a little better, like straight off the bat. Prior to today of recording this video, I hadn't done my makeup in like 3 weeks. So I actually had the energy to do my makeup today, and even streaming. Um, I usually, do my hair and do my makeup, and I use a camera when I stream on Twitch. But the past 3 weeks, for like, well, the past 2 weeks, I've hardly streamed and I've gone camless. So because I couldn't be bothered, and so I've just been using my microphone. And then 2 weeks prior to that, I actually took a break because I was so exhausted, and I felt like because I hadn't had a break from streaming since Christmas time. I was like, oh, maybe I've just streamed too much and not really had a break. So I decided to take a break for a week, and then I was like, oh, I'm really still not mentally there. So I took another break, and then I kind of came back, and then I got my blood test, and I was like, oh, that explains it. That explains why I haven't had the energy to like deal with my hair or do my makeup. So that's kind of other things I have to like keep an eye on as well, is like, do I have energy for like these simple things, you know? Because like it does get really difficult for me to like shower, especially when I've got this much hair. Like it takes a lot of energy to do my hair. When I start feeling like I really can't be bothered to do that, that's when I'm like, oh, maybe I need to go for a checkup. Maybe something's not quite right. And obviously, when you've got a history of deficiencies that are all the same symptoms as your thyroid, it's like, oh, okay, it could be any of these things. And surprisingly, my B12 was fine, and I'd actually stopped taking my B12 supplements for months because, again, it was like, oh, I can't be bothered. But my B12 was actually fine, which was quite surprising because usually that one's really, really low as well. So it's like so random. It's like every year when I go for my blood test, it's always at least one deficiency that I've got. But it never seems to be like consistent. Like at first it was B12 and folic acid. Then the next time it was just folic acid. And then I think it was folic acid again, and then not last time, but the time before my blood test, it was vitamin D. That was new, and now I've got vitamin D deficiency again alongside folic acid, but my B12 is fine, and it's like what is going on? It's like every year there's always going to be a deficiency. And it's just like, okay, which one is it going to be this time? You know? Because I know, because it's also really confusing as well, because I haven't changed my diet, but I know folic acid can be diet based because it's like leafy greens and stuff like that, and B12 is red meat, and vitamin D is obviously the sun, but I haven't changed my diet. I don't change my diet for my thyroid or since being diagnosed for these deficiencies. So I eat like the same things. I haven't introduced anything new really. I haven't eaten anything like less or whatever. So that's why it really confuses me on like which deficiency it's gonna be. Because typically B12 and folic acid is diet based, but I don't change my diet, but yeah, it could be any of them. So I don't know. And I'm just like, ugh. But it sucks because like even after I go through like the right dose of levothyroxine or I go through my deficiency supplements, I still never feel like I've got energy. I'm always some kind of tired. I'm always some kind of fatigued. And it sucks because I hate being tired. And it's like I've always got some level of like body pain, muscle ache, joint pain, something like that. I've always got something going on. I cannot remember the last day where I felt fine or normal. There's always something. Because, like, I go through the supplements and stuff, and then I get my blood work and it's normal again. But it's like, okay, well, it's taken like the worst of it off, but I'm still not fine. But and then doctors are like, well, your blood work's fine. I'm like, well, I'm not fine. But then the next time you go in, it's a different doctor, and then they don't look at your history, and you can only talk about one thing at a time. And then they're just like, yeah, let's do some blood work, but the blood work is fine. And then it's like, you just repeat the cycle. And it's like, because you can't tell the doctor to be like, look, I've got this complicated history, because you can only talk about one symptom at a time. And it's so frustrating because they always just want to do blood work, which is good, but sometimes it's only like specific things. So, like for me, they only test my thyroid, folic acid, B12, and vitamin D. So I have no clue if anything else is going on, because that's the only things that they want to do, because that's like part of my history. They don't do broad things anymore. And then when everything comes back normal, and then I'm saying that I'm still tired, they're just like, okay, let's do some blood work, and it's like the same thing. And it's just like, because there's always a different doctor as well. Like, you don't get the same doctor anymore. And then it just repeats the cycle, because they don't have the time to look through my history, because you only book like a 5-minute slot, and you're only allowed to talk about one thing. And it always feels like rushed as well, which really sucks. So I kind of just gave up trying. The only reason I went for this blood test was because my surgery basically said that I was overdue, and it's like, yeah, here, have a slot. And I'm like, oh, thank you, okay, might as well. But I guess I'll see what happens after I evaluate the end of June, see how I'm feeling, and whenever I get my next blood test. So I'll be posting this video before that, because obviously it could be 2 weeks, it could be a month and a half. So, but yeah, again, it is just a waiting game and seeing how I feel. But then on the other side, it's like, well, now I will have a lot going on in my life. So is it the deficiency? Is it my thyroid? Or is it because I've got a lot going on that I'm like filled with anxiety and stressed, you know? Trying to get stuff done and whatever. But yeah. So this was an unexpected health update, pretty much. I wasn't expecting to make this video, but I've been keeping track of my health and making videos since I was diagnosed in 2019. So, yay, my thyroid is potentially getting worse and more deficiencies to deal with, but yeah, not much else. So, I will update whenever I get my blood test next, and if I have another doctor's appointment, whatever, we shall see. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.